So hi everyone, thank you for joining me here today once again at Floor Arts by Elsa. And today we are going to do something a little different. As you can see today, I am sitting down, but I'm still excited to be here. Thank you for joining me. So I've gotten a lot of comments or questions about my mixing ratios. And when I took on this journey, which I'm so thankful for that you guys came along beside me, I had a couple of artists that inspired me. I've been painting off and on for as long as I can remember. But this art form, I started about 3 years ago. And my greatest inspiration for this type of work was Molly from Molly's Artistry and Rinska Donna. Also, Olga Sobi. Those are my three heroes whom I think are the greatest humans, the biggest inspirations for me. They're so humble. I appreciate you ladies, and I have been learning from you, and I hope that I am doing you well in my output of my paintings and my ideas and what I've been working with so far. And I feel humbled because I've had many subscribers just be inspired by me, by something that I create. And that is just like the best feeling ever. So today, what I want to do is I want to show you how I go along and how I mix my pouring medium. I don't just use Floetrol and water. I use more mixture that I have learned from Molly, and that works for me. And then I have omitted a couple of mediums, and I've tried some of my own as well. So I am going to show you what I do, what works for me. I am going to go over 3 paints, different brands, and I'm going to mix them so you guys get to see my process when I mix my paints, pour them in my bottles, and get them ready for a Dutch pour. So I hope this video you find very informative and helpful. And if there's anything that you saw me miss, do let me know. Like I always say, it's about coming together and learning together, having fun together, growing, and just exploring. So let's have fun. We're going to go down at the table, not at my canvas today, but we're certainly going down to the table so we can go ahead and get started. So without further ado, meet me down at the table. Okay, so here we are. And I'm going to show you what I have. So I have my one mixing cup that I use. And this has measurements along the side. So this helps me measure how much of each product am I going to add to my mixture. Okay, so this is my pouring medium that I'm going to create. Okay, no water involved. I add water at the end. But I'm going to show you what I do and how I get this all ready, and then how I mix my paints. So first of all, I have my measuring cup. I have a strainer for the Floetrol. I have my stirring stick. I do have a scale. I have a bottle with water, which we'll use at the end. I do use GAC 800, okay? So this is an extender for pouring acrylic colors. So this extends your acrylic colors. I have Creative Inspirations Gloss Medium and Varnish. Okay, you don't have to use this. This is what I do to mix my pouring medium and what works for me. And then I do use Liquitex pouring medium, and this is also a you can use it alone to mix your paints. It is a pouring medium, or like I do, I combine it with different pouring mediums to create one. So that, and then I have my Floetrol. So if you're in the US, Floetrol. So that is what I use to mix my pouring medium, and that's what we're gonna do tonight. I also have here a large bucket. Also, this bucket has, again, measuring scales on the side, so I can just dump my mixture in, mix it all together, and then what I do is I store it in this container. I have labeled pouring medium, and as I'm getting ready to mix my paints, I take cups of my pouring medium from here with my paints. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. That way you have an idea of what I'm referring to. So this container I've used plenty. You can see it's has wear and tear. It's simple. Once I'm done, I just wash it out. I dump the content outside. I don't put anything down my drains. I don't want any kind of adhesive or anything going down my drains. And then we have a bigger issue. So what I'm going to start with is the Liquitex pouring medium. So that is this one right here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to open this. And I did give it a shake. When all this dries in your painting, it is clear, okay? It's like a white substance, you can see. It's like milky, but it will dry clear and glossy. And I feel like this gives your colors a beautiful finish, okay? Like I said, you can use it alone or you can mix it. Some people just do water and Floetrol, and that's perfectly fine. Rinska does it all the time, and that's wonderful. Her paintings look gorgeous all the time. I mix mine. I go a little with the extra. So mine are not as beautiful as hers, but they are. So for the Liquitex, I use 200 milliliters. So 200 milliliters is going to go up to about here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pour that right in. So I'm going to turn it so I can see it, but I'll let you see from there. Okay? So 200 right about there. Okay? And then just like that. Nothing happens. I have a rag right here, and I just clean my sides as I go. So nothing drips. So that's the Liquitex. Next, I add 200 milliliters of GAC 800. That's this little guy. I don't know if I have 200 milliliters in here. I will certainly try. It's okay if I don't have all 200. So we're gonna get it up to the 400 milliliter mark because we already have 200 in there. So we're just adding another 200 or as close as we can get it. So right in there. And that's okay. Doesn't need to be exactly because, like I said, you can mix what you have. So that gave me about 150, and that's okay. So I'm 50 short. That's okay. Nothing happened. So put the cap back on. I do have to place an order for more. That's all I have. So now I am going to add 200 milliliters of the Creative Inspirations. And this I purchased at Jerry's Artorama. Okay. I don't find it anywhere else. So 200 of the Creative Inspirations. So I am at 350 right now. I am going to bring this line up to 550. Okay. There it is. Okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give this a good mix. So these are only the pouring mediums. They're all in there together. They play nice. It's okay. And then I just mix that in before I add the Floetrol. Give it a good mix. You don't need to do this. You can just mix Floetrol water. That's perfectly fine. I do have paints that I only mix Floetrol and water. For instance, my Amsterdam or my Golden paints. They're high pigmented paints. So I use only Floetrol and water. You can even mix them with water only, and that's perfectly fine. The lower grade paints, I mix them with a little more to extend their colors and have a beautiful finish when they're done and dry. Okay, so I leave that to the side. Now I need 1,000 milliliters of Floetrol, and I want to use a smaller bucket. So let me see if I find a smaller bucket in here. Yes. So we're going to use a smaller bucket for the Floetrol. We don't need to use a huge one because I'm not doing such a super duper quantity of this. So this will do. This is enough. And I'm going to use a different bucket. So I'm going to use this bucket. And again, it has the measuring scale right here. So we need 8,000 milliliters of Floetrol. So we're going to bring it up to right about here. Okay? So that's what we're going to do now. Your Floetrol, you want to make sure you shake real good because it does clump up in the bottle. That should be good. So, and now we need the strainer. I put it right over, and we're just going to go ahead and measure 1,000 milliliters. Or a liter. So this is what I do. Okay. There it is. And if you go over, that's okay. gonna set it right here. And to the Floetrol, I add my mixture of the Creative Inspirations, the GAC 800, and the Liquitex pouring medium. I add it to my Floetrol. So this is what I'm gonna do now. So this is what we're doing right now with the mixture. And I use all of it, so I'm scraping the sides, just making sure I get everything in there. There it is. So now I just shake this all up. So I shake this all in here. As you can see, that's my pouring medium. So this is what I pour into my paints to mix them, and then I mix them with water as I need. Okay, so, and I'm gonna show you with 3 paints we're gonna mix together. So my mixture is ready. I'm gonna show you, so I'm gonna put this to the side. What I do with this, I rinse it out. So what I do is I add some water, right? I take my strainer, I add water, just kind of like cleaning it halfway, just so I could get to it and my holes on the strainer don't clog. I just put some water through, and I'm making a mess of water, but it's okay. I'll clean it all up. So there it is. I just rinsed it. And what I do is I take that water and I just kind of like scrape my sides. I'm rinsing the cup as I'm doing this. And then I just pour this mixture because it has Floetrol and Creative Inspirations residue. So nothing goes to waste. Not here. Not at Fluid Arts by Elsa. So what I do, see, I rinsed it out. It's all in here. What I do is, the water that I use, for instance, to mix, so water that I use to mix my paints later on, I reuse this water because this water is perfectly fine and you already have some pouring medium mixed into it, which won't change the outcome. You just use the water. See, it's only milky water, so you can reuse that water to mix your paints. And I'm gonna show you just how I do that. So now I am gonna clean this all up. This goes all now, rinse it, and then we're done with this. I'm gonna bring you right back down. I'm gonna place you on a quick hold. I'm gonna bring my paints and I'm gonna show you how to mix 3 different brand paints with the pouring mediums that I just mixed. Okay, be right back. So here we are, guys, and I have set you up where you can see the scale, hopefully. Okay, so we zero out the scale, and I am working with grams. So I zero out my scale. I am gonna put my cup on here, zero it out again. Okay, and now I am going to mix only half of what I normally do. So I am going to do 40 grams of my mixed pouring medium. Now, as you remember, my pouring medium I already have in this bottle. That's the mixture we just made. Okay, give it a good shake. And I'm gonna add 40 grams of my pouring medium to the cup. If you go over, that's okay. Nothing happens. It will be a little over at times. So we're almost there. 40 grams, 41. It's okay. Like I said. Okay. So 40 grams of my pouring medium. I am going to go ahead and zero out my scale. Okay. Now I am going to do, and I'm working with Winsor and Newton, and I am mixing this pale umber. Such a pretty color. So this one I am going to keep at 20 grams to 40 grams of pouring medium. So 20 grams of paint. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and add 20 grams of paint. So here we go. One more drop. It is 20 grams of paint. Now, to this mixture, so I've done half. I've done 40 grams of pouring medium, 20 grams of water. I'm gonna zero out my scale. This is when I add my water. Now my water is gonna be 15 grams of water. And like I said, see the milky water? That's only pouring medium in here with water. It's okay to use. So I just shake it, and I'm gonna add to my cup 15 grams of water. Changing. So my scale doesn't seem to want to move, so I'm gonna leave it there. It's having some malfunction, guys, but I can feel it, so I know what it's supposed to feel like. So I'm gonna go ahead and I am gonna mix it up. And you should be adding your pouring medium and your water in increments. That way you avoid the clumping of the paint. I add it all together. I forgot, but that's something to keep in mind, is try to add it in increments so you avoid clumping your paint. Okay? It's okay. You can just stir a little vigorously and you're going to get rid of those clumps. But see? And what I try to do is I try to add less water and leave my paints in the bottle a little thick, because you can always add water to thin them down, but it's harder to thicken your paint back up if you add more water than you need to. Okay? And as I feel, this paint is ready. Okay? So this one is ready. See? Look at that. Leaves like a mound on a mound at the end. Runs off, then a little mound. Can you see? Maybe a little dark. See? Okay. So that's one. Bring the light over a little closer and see if that made a difference here. Let's see. Can you see it? And this is a beautiful color. And normally what I do is I will take, if I'm pouring, I'll use it from the cup. If I want to save it, I'll use one of my Loli Buffy bottles. And I'll just pour it in here, wash this little cup out, and reuse it. Just like I do with my stir sticks, okay? Nothing goes to waste. You can reuse it. So this one is ready. We're going to try another one. So that color is ready. Now, I'm going to do a golden, okay? So we're going to turn the scale back on, see if she wants to behave. I'm going to come to this side. Okay. And we're going to go ahead here and see. So for my golden, okay, my scale's zeroed out. I am going to grab my cup, set it on my scale, and zero out my scale. Okay. And now I'm going to add, again, 40 grams of pouring medium. So, $40. Okay. Okay. Zero out the scale. We're gonna add, because it's golden, it's a higher pigmented paint. So what I'm gonna do is my golden, when I mix, my ratio is not 20. This is gonna be 10 because it takes less of the golden paint to get the same amount with a lesser grade level paint. So this actually, I cut my ratio for my paint in half if I'm working with golden. So for this one, we're adding only, I just want to see if she's, okay, she's measuring. Yep, okay. So for this one, we are only using half. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add 10 because usually I use 20, so I'm doing only 10 grams to a mixture of 40. Well, you know what? Not even. That's if I do 80. If I'm doing half, and it would be 20, so I'm doing even half of that, 5. So my ratio would be 40 grams of pouring medium to 10 grams of golden paint. And then to that, I'm adding 7 grams of water. So plus 7, 12. So I'm gonna just bring it up to 12. And that's it. Okay. So this is the golden mixture. I got a little mixed up there, sorry guys. But with the golden, is half of my ratio. Normally I do 80, so I am doing half today. And with the golden is half of that half. So that's where those numbers came from. So we're just gonna keep mixing here. So look at that. It's still a little clumpy. So I can still continue to stir. And this one seems okay. There it is. See? See how it runs off the stick and then a mound on a mound. Okay? So that's the golden. Okay? And then last, I am going to do, again, we're going to zero out the scale. We are going to zero out again 40 grams of pouring medium. Okay, so 40 grams of pouring medium. We are going to zero out the scale. Just make sure she's working. Yes, okay. And we are doing Pearl White by Arteza. So for the Arteza, I mix like my normal paints, and that's gonna be 20 grams of paint. So 20 grams. Once again, my scale's acting crazy. Okay. Okay. And then $15 of water. And my scale doesn't seem to want to work. There it is. 15 of water. Okay. 15 grams of water. And then we're just gonna mix this. Once again, I did exactly what I was telling you guys not to do once again, and is add the water in increments so your paint does not get clumpy. There it goes. Now, depending on the color and the brand of the paint, you will need, some paints will need more water than others because they're thicker than others. So the measurement of the water may vary depending on the brand and the color of the paint. Okay? So it's not one shoe fits all. It is, you can do your ratios the same way and, you know, mix your paints. However, keep in mind, when you do a test, your paints may run at different rates because depending on the color and the brand, that may be a thicker paint and needs more water. Okay, so I am going to, this is ready. Good, see? Look at that. Now, I am going to clean this up. I am going to do a drip test. I'm going to show you what I am talking about, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So now, to do my drip test, I am going to use a piece of canvas cardboard. I saved these for that. And I am just going to place the same amount of drops of paint on each mixture that we have done. And then I'm going to pull it on the opposite end to see how the paints run. If I have my paints at the right consistency, even though there are 3 different brands of paints, they should all run off the same. So I have the Pale Umber by Winsor Newton. That's the first one I'm going to put down. Then I am going to put down the Light Magenta by Golden. And that is going to be followed by the Pearl White by Arteza. So I am going to put them corresponding to each one. I'm going to lay them down, and then we're going to see how this paint runs, okay? So I am going to start with the umber right over here, okay? And to be fair, I do have to be a little generous and put enough paint down so we can see how it runs off, okay? And then I'm doing the same with the Light Magenta by Golden. And again, right next to it, and a fair amount of paint because we want to see how it runs off. Okay, so that's about the same. And finally, the Pearl White. And now it's going off a little bit, so it's just because of the way it's sitting on the table. And now the Pearl White. So Pearl White, and it has to be about the same size. Okay, so I have my colors down, okay? And now I am gonna bring them, hold it up and see how it drips. So I kid you guys, this is a fake. This is an epic fail, but that's a fake one. I did test them prior, and here is how they run, okay? So they are perfectly in line. The one that's a little more fluid is the white, but we can always add a little more pearl white, okay? So they are running correctly. It's just the way I was holding it on the table here did not work. I can have it tested again so you guys can see, but take my word for it because I don't want to waste my paint. So there you have it. Let me get rid of this. And let's see here. So there you have it, guys. I hope this helps you. You can use it as a reference. I do have different paint brands that I work with. Like I said, it's not one fits all. You have to test it out. You have to make it your own. Play around with it. See what works for you. Share it with us. I want to know. I want to also try out what you do. So if you have any questions, don't forget to leave the comments in the comments section below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and you liked what you saw, click on the subscription button. Don't forget to click the notification bell. That way you're notified anytime I have new content. And tell me what you guys like, what you want to see. What would you like me try? I will be trying, Tahira, that grenade pour, which is like a flip cup, really. Now they put the pins on the side of the cup. Usually I did an opening at the top of the cup when I did my flip cups, just to let that suction loose. But I will definitely try it. I've been looking into it. I've seen great stuff. I will try it. I'll show you how it goes. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you guys. I thank you for just joining me every day, and let's continue to learn until the next one. And thank you for joining me here at Fluid Arts by Elsa. Bye.